Simple question again.
Yes.
Where does black magic come in all of this? Is Tantra a dark force? What is a dark force? What is darkness? All of that.
The source of dark. So the world is always going to be a place of duality. So there's going to be light and there's going to be dark. There's going to be good and there's going to be bad. So the term specifically that you're looking for, what we call as black magic colloquially, in Sanskrit, it's called abhichara. Abhichara kriya is basically something which produces a negative result. Okay. Now, where does abhichara get born? I'll give you a simple example. I'm going to office. I have some office colleagues are there, boss is there, whatever is going on. In between, there is some office politics also happening, which is very normal, etc. And I don't like a certain person. Okay, I think that if he just goes away from the office, it'll be more peaceful for me. Okay, so the moment the thought is born, it is already your black magic has started. Your intention is the one that has caused. So the world is based on both these aspects. Now, where does Tantra come into the field? How does Tantra make an entry into this? And not just Tantra, even the Atharva Veda, and they also have certain aspects which deal with these. So Tantra is a very specialized, ideally it is a way of worshipping the gods, the Devatas, which is apt for Kali Yuga, this Yuga, Tantra says. So,
okay.
Whereas the Vedas are more for the Satya Yuga, the first of the Yugas when corruption was less. Now, very simply, Tantra is saying that I am giving you a methodology of worship wherever, whatever your intention is, there is a greater chance of making it a success. So, if your intention is good, you will get a good result. If your intention is bad, your intention is your responsibility. Tantra is not fixing the intention. It is up to you. If you want to keep your intention free, if you want to keep your intention without any malice, without any malefic intent, perfectly fine.
For example, Tantra is like a sword, and you can use that sword to cut vegetables to eat, or you can use it to kill.
Yes, and that is the technical aspect of the Tantra sadhana. But when we go in the deeper, the heart of Tantra, it is entirely focused on worship of the Devatas so that you attain to a very high state.
Okay, got it. I think we should dive deeper into this Tantra topic.
Sure.
I don't know where to begin this conversation. I don't know where to begin even questioning you. I'm assuming that the beginning is in the Atharva Ved because chronologically, maybe Tantra was first mentioned there. Correct me if I'm wrong.
So Atharva Veda does have certain practices which are very similar to tantric practices. But formally, if we say that how did Tantra originate, a simple answer would be so one of the original developments of Tantra that happened historically was from the area of Kashmir, and also to some degree in the area of Eastern India near the Kamakhya temple. Okay, that is one stream of Tantra.
Let's boil it down to basics even further, sir. If you had to define Tantra for a Western audience again, how do you define it? Is it, I'll tell you why I'm asking you this, because a lot of Western audiences associate the word Tantra with sex.
So I get you. So that's like, taking out from a wide range of different practices, just picking up one out of context and making a bruha about it. So that's what. But Tantra basically is nothing but a methodology of worship which was given by Lord Shiva. So why is Tantra important? Why does it work? In the first place, you may ask a question, why do I need to follow Tantra? I may as well follow the Vedic path. I may follow the Puranic path. So there is no conflict between the two, by the way. They're like two parallel streams in the same land, in the same space, larger umbrella of Dharma. There is the Vedic system of Upasana and there is the Tantric system of Upasana.
And what does the Vedic system entail?
So Vedic system entails that which is inspired from the Vedas, which includes the Puranas and the other texts. And so average, when we do a worship at home, say during Ganpati, Ganpati is so popular in Mumbai, right? So Ganpati festival, if you have a Panditji coming and doing a puja, more or less you are doing it as per the Vedic system.
Got it. Like, which is the traditional
mainstream.
PG-13 version of Hinduism.
Right. Okay. And it is also useful and very practical. It is what has sort of held us together in a lot of spaces.
And probably 99% of Hindus follow the Vedic system.
Yes, correct.
What about the 1%?
Sir? So Tantra is something that starts with, so we have to understand this, that it is Shiva who gives out the Tantras.
One more question here.
Yes.
When you say that Shiva gave us the Tantras, is this a man you're referring to? Is it a being you're referring to?
It's Lord Shiva.
Which is what?
Ishvara, divine,
God.
Bhagavan, God.
Okay.
He gives the Tantras through a set of rishis and rishi-like beings. And he says that the age that we are coming in this age, Devata Upasana will be far more effective if you do it through the tantric method of worship.
Okay. Again, to give everyone context here, supposedly we're in the Kali Yuga, which is the darkest phase of
Yes.
humanity according to Hinduism.
Yes.
So in this dark phase of humanity, maybe some dark techniques work better for your own evolution and growth. But the same dark techniques may or may not be used for dark practice as well, which could be to cause harm.
That is there, but would not define it as a dark practice.
Okay.
So there is no practice called dark or white.
Okay.
There's a practice that works and there's a practice that does not work.
Gotcha.
First of all, is it effective? Yes. Number two, does it cause harm or not? No, 99% of Tantra actually does not cause harm. There are the actual practitioners of Tantra who are the traditional practitioners. They do not think of this that as some sort of small time black magic, jadoo tona and all. Not at all. This is a properly ritualistically heavy method of Devata upasana.
Okay.
Worship Devatas. So it's important to understand that it comes from Lord Shiva, and because of that, it becomes a practice that is acceptable to the people, and not just acceptable, it works in the sense that there's a result that comes out of it, of the upasana, and that is why we have a string of great upasakas and saints and acharyas who have practiced the tantric methods and reached. Now, within Tantra, there are classifications. Classifications means there are known as the 7 acharams. Acharams means modes of behavior. Okay, as you progress one after the other. The basic mode of behavior, it says, is the Vedachara. Vedachara is the average way of worshipping, which we average person does, which is perfectly all right. Say that's how you start. And the other thing is that this 7 modes of upasana, of acharam, you need not cross it in one lifetime. It will take lifetimes of efforts. So it's not saying that, you start today and 10 years later you'll reach there. No. Nature will play its part in guiding you after you have successfully completed each of the acharas and integrated the knowledge and the tattva there inside in your mind and body.
You carry it into your next
Yes,
lifetime.
the impression will be there with you. So nothing gets lost.
Okay. Now, again, from a more practical perspective, I'm just going to share maybe a spiritual input here. Often you'll see that certain people in their 20s suddenly gather a lot of spiritual knowledge, or maybe sometimes in their teenage. They're just exposed to spiritualism through life. Maybe their parents introduce them, a friend introduces them. They lap up spiritual books. And this is often a case of someone possibly carrying knowledge from their previous birth into this birth, and the knowledge is just getting revised. And often these same people hit a bit of a plateau.
Yes.
That plateau is the point where they have to actually begin accumulating new knowledge in this lifetime. Am I fair in saying that?
To an extent, yes. The way I look at it, there is always some amount of, some things you might have done in your past that carries on now. But to develop that further, because there is every time anybody is born in this plane, there is a layer of Maya that is there. Maya means you don't remember what you have done in the past. Okay?
Maya's the simulation that we're living in.
Sort of the kind of a veil that is put on your memory. Okay. Otherwise, you will not be functional. If you remember everything, you will not be functional as an individual at the initial stages until you reach a very high stage.
But it's already stored in our
somewhere it is
minds.
Stored. Somewhere it may be stored. And that propels you into that, we call it through various actions that you might have done. There is something known as samskara. Samskara is your tendencies. So your tendencies may drive you towards spiritual path. Okay, that this is there. But even after that, you will still have to practice it in the method it has to be done. Without that practice, that energy will remain dissipated, and you will after spend years and years and suddenly feel that where I'm stuck exactly where I was. Because that is why the process is so important. Whatever the path, whether it's yoga, whether it's tantra, whether it's something else, you have to have the right process, follow it with discipline. So that's the one thing I always tell people, that eventually the person who has discipline will succeed, not the person who has experiences.
Is that whole thing about a human that practices one kick 10,000 times is more powerful than practicing 10,000 kicks once?
That's right.